So we got major flooding yesterday, but luckily we haven't had so much rain that our ground hasn't been able to absorb it. We got within 10 minutes of the rain starting, we got flood advisories. The good thing is that we won't have to, I guess, water the plants today. I'm gonna show you guys that we got so much rain that some of the root systems on some of these seedlings, the soil just got pounded so hard that it just dropped down. This cup was empty before the rain. Some people said that they got 2 inches in 2 hours. Other people said they got 3.75 inches, almost 4 inches of rain last night. But yeah, as you can probably hear from all the frogs, they're really happy. So there's going to be another spawn, I guess, of toads and stuff. Unfortunately, the Cuban tree frogs are kind of taking over here, which, in the past you'd never see them super large, but now I'm seeing them almost every day, really big Cuban tree frogs. Every few years we would get a freeze that would wipe 80% of the population out, so it kind of kept them in check in this North Florida. But I guess everything has gotten warmer and warmer, global warming, climate change, whatever you want to call it. So now they're going to just be taking over. I hope that cane toads don't start coming here and surviving. That's probably the next thing. A lot of pets and all will be dying. Look at how much water's in this. There was probably a little bit to start already. Hate to waste that water, but yeah, it was 7 or 8 inches. But yeah, there was probably 3 or 4 inches already in there from the rain we had a while back. Of course, my soil mixing station flooded. Still keeping an eye on these Chiang Mai 60 mulberry cuttings. They don't look great. They're not dead. I probably said this in another video. I probably should have cut them into 2 to 3 pieces instead of trying to root a 2-foot plus piece. Oh well. It looks like the mushrooms got happy with all this rain. Look how huge that bad boy is. Wow, that is a big one. That's probably a 7-inch round one. There's 2 or 3 that size. So my largest pumpkin was probably right there at the fence yesterday. And it's growing 10 inches, 12 inches, maybe more than that, just with this rain in 24 hours or less than 24 hours. Just what I wanted to do. I wanted to climb up that fence instead of going all over the smaller plants and breaking them. But you can see we also got sweet potatoes going crazy here. And that's a nice garden huckleberry, nightshade. It's probably getting close to 4.5 foot, 5 foot. One of our smaller ones we planted. It hasn't taken off yet. And it seems like these guys really they're really slow to take off. And then once they start taking off, their leaves get 2, 3, 4 times bigger. Then they might move as much as 10 or 12 inches a day once they get so far. Mosquitoes are eating me up. I see this pumpkin. It's starting to take off a little bit. It's not quite there yet, but it's starting to head toward that fence. I have a feeling once it gets to that fence and grabs the fence, it's going to start walking, almost a foot a day. And that fence should be strong enough to hold, whatever. The one in here that's kind of hidden, let me see if I can even find it. Yep, there's a Malanga or taro or something that just shot out from. Wow, I have so many soy. Oh, here we go. Here it is. Okay, So it's kind of going that way. It probably needs to turn back toward the fence. Yeah, we got some, let's see, at least 2 of these malanga or taro or whatever sprouting. There's one down there, definitely a malanga that hasn't put a sprout out. We have this sunchoke, which isn't very happy, but there's a sweet potato. Let's see if we can zoom in there. That's coming out well, doing okay. So doing these mass plantings is kind of like repairing where you dig up all of the dirt, tillip or whatever. If it's bare dirt, it heats up too much, it doesn't hold moisture and stuff like that. So putting a living mulch, ground covers and stuff, and even like small shrubs or annual or perennial shrubs in a mound or whatever will help to keep the dirt from moving out as it rains. It's like just flattening out the mound. It'll probably still flatten out a little bit anyway, but so you're doing multiple things, plus using nitrogen fixers like all these soybeans and stuff to hopefully help put nitrogen back into the soil for the bananas and stuff. My other set of pumpkins, they're not really taken off yet. Had some caterpillar damage on one of them, so. But yeah, I think in a month or so, if we don't get too hot or anything. I'm not sure how well these do into like August or whatever, or if they just like start wilting and dying or what. So I've never grown any, but they should start taking off pretty soon. Looks like we got a little baby cactus here growing in this area. I knew it had some roots on it when I moved it by accident. Put it back down there, and there it is. Throwing this one. Thinking I made a mistake by putting this Chiang Mai 60 in the ground here without being able to like mist it a lot and all that stuff. It's probably dead or dying. Our plum tree's doing good here. And we got a little tiny bit of growth on this passion flower. The one in the pot's done better, so maybe this guy needs a lot more fertilizer or compost or something. All of these hundreds of elderberries in this whole little patch area near 2015 Select or 2015's Best is making flower heads now. Are these all the same exact, just clones, fruit suckers? This is like a forest walking through all this stuff. I don't know. It could be all the same, genetically same, just root suckers going, 50 foot or whatever that way. This is our poor sad or Blanca or whatever, grapefruit, Tangelo, whatever it is. Still has not really put any height on it. It's got some green leaves. I gotta kind of shove this dog along, because if she sees me pointing to something, she'll sit there, chomp it. She's done that with some pawpaws, a couple weeks ago. She's like, oh, okay, well, what are you interested in? I'll just eat it, or at least cut it and play with it with my teeth. So, yeah. On the other hand, that pawpaw sucker or whatever that is has grown another 10 or 12 inches probably since the last video. Look at all the leaves on it. Looks like we got some gingers coming up in this bed here. It's raised a hugel culture bed that really hasn't been worked on too much in the last few years. Some of our taro there looks good. Got a big, pretty nice size pokeweed plant there. Got a nice mushroom. I don't know if that's going to be a stinkhorn or something else. Stinkhorn ones are pretty, but they got an awful smell to them. Another pokeweed there. Got some more ginger spikes there coming out there. There could be turmeric in here as well. But I did fill this full of, you know, this last year, finally started putting like leaves and stuff. And before I started working on the other bed we're working on. Kind of cool here is a big giant beetle. Let's see. Look at that. Never know what you're gonna find out here.